Hey and welcome, it's Jackie again. So what do we want to do today? Today is all about your ideal reader. And one of the things I get asked a lot is about how you actually find your ideal reader. So people want this kind of like definitive, set in concrete, this is absolutely who my ideal reader is. But let's think about the ideal reader in the context of what it is that you're trying to produce. So when I worked in the corporate world, we manufactured printed circuit boards and we had a number of different markets that we sold into. And what we did in each of the different markets is we created a profile of who our ideal client might be. Now, there were some processes that could go across different industries, but mostly, apart from the foundation of how you would build and test a printed circuit board, apart from that foundation, there were things that needed to happen that were very, very specific to a certain type of organization. So let's say, for example, if we are creating printed circuit boards for a medical organization, we might initially not think about trying to sell products into someone who perhaps makes syringes. However, what they might be looking to do is they might be looking to expand their range and actually create some kind of electronic device that enables the patient to have whatever those drugs are dripped into them over a period of time in a specific way. So we should never close our minds to who the ideal reader might be, because often at first glance we think they're one thing, and then over a period of time they develop into something else. So as you know, I love doing my little books. So what we need is just a sheet of A4 paper, and we start off and we ask the question, who is our ideal reader? Now, you may start off with things like some of the demographics, like their age. They might be married, they might be mumpreneurs, they might be silver surfers, they might be people that have a certain disposable income, live in a particular country or town or whatever. So there's a whole load of demographics that you could go through. And then there are, things like people's likes and dislikes, their values, things that they might be passionate about. It's really for you to really kind of get deeply connected to the kind of person that you believe initially, will be the right person to read your book. However, what often happens is we often have this set idea that this is going to be the ideal reader. This exercise really is about you finding the foundation of who you think it might be, and then as you do more research you can hone it down depending on what you learn and kind of what your message is. So the first thing is to just draw who you think your ideal reader is and put some words around here. So they might be male or female, they might live in certain countries, they might be English speaking, they may have particular job titles, they may drive certain cars. I mean, I don't know your business, I don't know what your book is. So just kind of brainstorm on your sheet of paper some bits and pieces to see what comes up for you in terms of your initial idea about what your ideal reader is. Now, the other thing about an ideal reader is if we stick to this idea that there are boxes that they fit in, we might find ourselves, and people often do, going, I just can't work it out, because they don't actually, even though they're female, they don't really seem to fit in one of these age brackets. And then you start to get kind of a bit wound up about, well, if I can't fit them into an age bracket and I can't, and then, you lose that whole idea of who it is that you're writing your book for. So the other thing to think about is this. Let's say you're writing your personal story. And I have a book that I'm currently writing, which is called Tapping into Your Divine Inner Wisdom. And it's come about from a series of kind of like spiritual awakenings. So I became aware, I became awake, alive, I started to accept things, and I took certain actions. So my ideal reader to read this book is not me now, but me then. But that doesn't necessarily have an age bracket. it potentially is female, but doesn't have to be. You know, I've often been surprised when the messages that I put out there attract men, and I'm thinking, well, actually, I thought my ideal client was this, this, and this. So personal story is often about the adversity that someone has been through and the lessons that they've learned and what they're going to teach the person who reads their book. So it might not be a specific country or a gender or an age, but it might be where they find themselves, a crossroads that they find themselves at. But you'll discover that by doing this exercise. Now, the next part of the exercise is, what is your ideal reader going to get from your book? What are they going to get from your book? So if I take a book that, again, you know, a book that I've written, which is Plan Your Non-Fiction Book in a Weekend, they're going to get a process. Often what happens is when people want to write a book, they have no idea about how to go through it, that step-by-step process. And this book says, let's start here and let's work through these different things so you get to a point that you know why you're writing the book, who's the ideal reader, which is the right book for right now. Because if you're anything like me, you will have a zillion ideas, and we can't write a zillion books all in one go, as much as you'd like to. So the idea is that we know what they're going to get from it, what kind of process. I have a client, for example, who's written a book called Breathe Better, Sleep Better. Well, we know what they're going to get. They're going to go through a process, which actually does have some personal story in. They're going to go through an amazing process that gets them connected deeply to their breath. And then as they learn about the 5 elements of the breath, the 5 values, they learn about something called the surrendered breath. And in the surrendered breath, they learn how the breath feeds the entire body, and that's how they're going to get to sleep, without me giving too much away. So what is your reader going to get from the book? So it's a process with an outcome. So what is it? Brainstorm, scribble. And why would your reader read your book specifically? And you know, people read things because they get emotionally connected to something. There will be something that you say, the way that you do it, the way that you live your life, your values, your passion, your purpose. There'll be something about how you describe the book that will make them go, I know why I want to deal with that person. I know why I want to read their book. There will be, we all have a million whys. We need to hone it right down and start to think about, why would they read this book? And you can do some research. You can go out to your groups and say, what is stopping you from reading a book, or writing a book, I should say, rather than reading a book. That's World Book Day on my mind. So ask some questions. What is stopping you? What would make you? And then see what the feedback comes back, and that will help you with your why. But your why is often about your personal brand, is the way that you're putting stuff out there, because people will want to read your book because, yes, they do want a specific outcome, but they want it from you. Why? So, why your book and why you? And then the last part of this exercise, this is quite a lot of good fun, is where are you going to find your ideal reader? And yes, again, that's legwork. We need to be going into different groups and connecting with people and having conversations and asking questions. So are the people that you believe who would read your book, are they in Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups? Do you find them on Pinterest? Are they on Instagram? What kind of people are they? And another great way to research the where is to go onto Amazon and look at your competitors' books and read the reviews, and you'll get an idea, a sense of those kind of people that do, clamber onto places like Amazon and Goodreads and do take the time to leave reviews, and you'll find out a lot about them from there. So where do these people hang out? Do they hang out at networking events? Do they go to certain kinds of conferences? Are they in groups led by certain kinds of people? Where will you find them? What are they asking? What is it that they're questioning about? So this is a great exercise to get us started, but we need to be spending more time kind of listening. And okay, listening in an online world is kind of like watching, but you're listening with other ears. You're observing. You're becoming a witness. What are you witnessing? And I want you to take away any preconceptions you have about who this particular person is, because by exploring, reflecting, leaving, and allowing and observing, this will mold itself. You will find things changing. And even after you have written your book and you have that idea in your head, I bet you any money, something will come out and you'll go, oh, I never thought about targeting people like that. So it's always open mind, open heart, and playing with it and being open to what comes up. And when you've done all of this and you've left it and reflected and you've come back and you've played around with it, you need to be a bit of a better artist than me, but come back and draw your ideal reader and stick it up on your wall somewhere so that when you're actually doing the writing, and I have lots of things stuck around when I'm writing particular things, I'll look up and I'll be writing something and I go, am I really writing for that person? Because when you're writing a book, it's like I am talking just to you, just to one person right at this moment. I'm looking you directly in the eyes. I'm connecting heart to heart, soul to soul, and I'm doing this for you. So when you look up at your little drawing and you're writing away and all of a sudden you're doing something and you think, am I right? Am I actually communicating with that person? So that is your little job for today, is to think about who your ideal reader is. It doesn't matter whether it's a book or a blog or you're writing an article for a publication or whatever it is. Ideal reader, who is that one person you're going to look in the eye and you're going to connect your heart to and you're going to share your message with. So do share in the group. I'd love to see what you come back with. All those scribbles, drawings, just snap them with your mobile phone, shove them in the group. Let's have a look and let's explore and let's have some fun. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon.